Every time. You can't never just.
What about that one time?
It was especially something that time. Oh, just remove it.
Which one? This one?
Facial speaks, yes.
This one? Oh, peace. What's going on, people?
Peace.
I guess you're going to get us every morning with the looking with our looking ass. I say you looking with your looking ass.
I'm telling you.
Jeezy in the kitchen with his cooking ass. What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy, Sincere 7.
And I'm Tatiana.
You know what I'm saying? We represent. Hey, you can go to bed. And we also represent Psychonaut Academy of Detroit.
And the House of Genesis.
And
Baby 7.
I'm about to go punch a baby in the throat bone. I'll be back.
She wants you to open up her iPad. She says her iPad isn't working. So, good morning. Grand rising to all of the Hotep or whatever y'all be calling yourselves or whatever. To all of the peoples all across the world, all across the nations, we say good day. How y'all feeling this morning?
Stay out their business. That's not your business how they feeling. Dang.
No, you're gonna.
Sorry, y'all.
You're gonna tell me how you're feeling.
I'm sorry. She just out of like. Damn,
I'm out of pocket for asking how they doing.
That's them people's personal business.
Well, what the fuck is we here for if we ain't gonna get in their personal business?
To give them hours.
Okay.
We doing great.
Annoying. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
What's really good, y'all?
Feeling amazing. Okay. That's what the fuck I'm talking about with the star eyes, baby. Okay? Virtuous Intuitive. I like that name.
I don't know if I trust them.
You don't know?
I'm just playing.
Oh my goodness.
Look, I'm just playing. Look. Hey man, it's good to be here with y'all, man. We glad to be back building with y'all, going back and forth, you know what I'm saying, having y'all tap in with us, allowing us to tap in with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We get No, I'm just saying, if you need any help, just let me know. I'm always here to offer helping hands. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. I actually forgot that I was.
You just pull out there. This bitch a bird, y'all.
For a minute there, I kind of forgot
she
that.
Over here molting and shit.
I was live for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I kind of forgot or whatever. But I want to speak on this for a minute because we talk about the medicine that is all around us, you know what I'm saying, and the tools that are all around us. And the other day, we were talking to Anna and
shout out to
Anna.
Right, I was like Anna.
Anna.
Shout out to Anna.
Hey Anna.
Shout out. Rest in peace to Nighthawk. Your favorite medicine man's favorite medicine man, by the way. But go ahead with it.
You cold with it, sis. You know what I'm saying? Shout the fuck out to you. And Nighthawk for sure. You know what I'm saying? The other day she told me to use the feathers as tools. And she dropped a jewel on me about a particular feather. And yesterday I decided to test her theory. Okay? And me testing her theory, Tellus had made me a pair of earrings. I actually bought 2 pair of earrings from him. This is actually one of them. One of the feathers out of one of the earrings. It's a blue jay feather. And the blue jay actually represents my father for me. Okay, so when he made the earrings, it was like, hell yeah. And the other was an owl. And I put the owl feather yesterday right here on my heart. Oh, this is some bullshit.
Oh, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Keep talking.
And so I put it on my heart and I immediately began to feel that one, the long one.
Let me do this.
Feel my heart activating and breaking through whatever crust feel layers was on there, baby, because it opened all the way up and it felt so good. And I said I was going to reach out to her today and let her know, like, you the truth, because it was medicine that I didn't need, that I didn't know I needed. and it also allowed me to do some works. You know what I'm saying? So if you are being gifted tools of the universe, figure out a way to use them and listen to the other ways that people use them, so that you can, operate in a frequency that you're supposed to be in. So
yeah, and if you don't know, don't be scared to reach out to them people. Like a lot of us in this community who deal with certain things, operate within certain realms, utilize certain tools and modalities. Some of us have no problems sharing, those things. The way to how I did it, how I found, how I,
yes.
manifested. Now there are some out here who are gatekeeping and all that. Those you just erase out your contact list.
Period.
But outside of that, man, contact the people. You know somebody who you trying to learn about the feathers. You know somebody rocking with the feathers, rocking the hairdressers, doing a lot of stuff. Reach out to them. Ask them the science on that.
Yeah.
Ask them, you know what I'm saying, how they got into it. Ask them the proper ways to go about testing your own things.
Yes, because a closed mouth won't get fed. And what I think me and him are realizing is that there are people out here like us. You know what I'm saying? Meaning there are people out here that want to teach, share, and educate on all of their experiences, their knowledge, the information. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have people coming to them, approaching them, and this information is not being passed down because nobody's asking. Ain't nobody out here just about to be volunteering information. You are lucky to have us to volunteer the information that we do. Period. Whatever it is, whether it be relationships, whether it be Etheogens, whether it be whatever.
I got nervous as soon as you said, y'all lucky to have us. And then I was just like, oh, it gave me Lauryn Hill vibes. But I thought through what you said, and I was like, okay, no.
Yeah, because I'm not talking about
I got you.
On a grand scale, like we the only motherfuckers. But have you heard anybody out here talking about the things that we are talking about? Have you seen it? Let me know. Show me to them.
I got one better than that.
What?
Because, they've heard people out here talk about things we're talking about. Have you heard people who are qualified?
Oh, okay, there we go.
Out here talking about some of the things that we're talking about. I would say that. I would say that there's a lot of talk out here. And a lot of people are not qualified. They're not educated. They've never sat with a master teacher. They've never traveled. No nothing. They just read some shit on Facebook or somebody told them something. And they just carrying that shit on. That's a pet peeve of mine. Me being a 1-3 in my human design, investigative martyr, is like, not only do I want to hear about it, but I want to go study it for myself. I want to go verify it. I want to go understand it and be able to explain it to a child. They say if you can't explain it to a child, you haven't really mastered it. So whatever you feel like you mastered, you should be able to go get a young child, 7, 8 years old, sometimes 6, and explain it to them to a point that they understand what you're talking about. And that's when they say that, you really got it, So that's just the big pet peeve of mine. Is just like a lot of people who are out here talking. They're not teaching. They're just talking. Teaching comes with a certain responsibility. But it's a lot of people out here talking about different things and they don't know what they're talking about. Period. Like I don't have no hesitation in saying that. A lot of these people don't know what they're talking about, but they're talking about it because they know that these are some of the subjects that at this point are being seeked out,
Yeah. The thing about it is for me, I feel like the best thing to do is to find somebody that is willing to share, and you do that by knowing what it is that you desire, right? And yesterday we had a call. We rushed off of here yesterday because we had a call, and the lady literally shared everything with me.
Yes, she did.
Everything. And then we exchanged numbers, and she was like, I'm going to help you step by step. She's like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And she was like, and this is your homework assignment. And in that moment, I knew I had a mentor. And it wasn't me having to say, hey, can you mentor me? Or, hey, anything like that. It was just literally an understanding that she had information and knowledge and wisdom that she wanted to share. that she wanted to give, because she said, listen, she said, I don't care. She said, there's enough money out here for all of us. I'll tell you everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that right there was like, damn. It reminded me of myself, because I tell people all the time, I'll give you the recipe. I'll give you the exact recipe to my infamous sauce.
Okay. So what's the recipe for using entheogens to do works?
It depends on what type of works you're trying to do.
Ooh, is that where you want to start off at? You know what I'm saying?
It depends on what type of work you want to do.
Is that where? Okay, all right. So dig, y'all. Y'all see what the title of the talk is, right? You heard what she just said. So I'm gonna do something I usually don't do. Anybody out there that's watching right now, and you're watching because you would like to get a better understanding of what entheogens to do, what entheogens to utilize to do certain works, I would like you right now to type in the comment, what works would you like to achieve? And maybe not even achieve, maybe it's for somebody else, but give me a couple examples of something that you all might be battling with, might be having a challenge with, and you want to utilize some entheogens to assist you in those walks. What would those works be? What you would, so anybody who wants to comment. So of course we know PTSD. I'm gonna start there until some of our watchers tap in with some works that they're trying to achieve and the best entheogens to achieve those works and the dosages of those entheogens to achieve those works. But while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and speak about PTSD. You know, because when we talk, we like to share things that we are aware of, things that we know, things that we've experienced, things that we've seen firsthand, things like that. So talking about entheogens and how to use them and which ones to use for what, I just want to start with, the first thing that I ever addressed with an entheogen, and I didn't know it at the time, and that was PTSD. Prior service military, and when I came home, there was a lot of violence, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of paranoia. Anywhere I would go, when I would walk in, I would walk through the whole building and check all the exits. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the restaurant, walking through the kitchen. They talking about you can't be in here. I'm like, I'm just looking at the exits. I'm just trying to see where all the doors in and out is at. This is the type of, you know what I'm saying, mindset and energy I moved with, right? And I was willing to be violent against other people. And so I had started growing cannabis. That's the first plant medicine I worked with was cannabis. I grew it, and then after a minute, I was like, the way I was growing it with these bottles and all of this, I was like, this ain't right. Like, this is a plant, and we're utilizing it, we're smoking it, you're setting on fire and hell. So I started growing organically, and I got to hearing the plants talk to me when I used to be in the garden. I used to think I was tripping, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is before I had ever did anything entheogens, but I was in there smoking, and I could hear the plants communicating with me. So my man's came to me one day. He like, hey, bro, you should take some mushrooms. I'm like, take some mushrooms? Man, you take some motherfucking mushrooms. I'm not taking no mushrooms. Well, I like Super Mario, M&M's or something, you know, because for real, that was the only thing I knew about mushrooms was Eminem's song. I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. I never meant to bring you to my world. Now you're sitting in the corner crying, and it's my fault, right? So I'm like, yo, what the hell is the mushrooms about? So I'm real like offish when he said it. He was like, I did. I was like, you take some mushrooms. He's like, I did. And I'm like, what? He's not the type of dude who just be experimenting, right? So when I knew that he did it, I'm like, okay, this is something different. And he's like, yo, you know, he started telling me about his experience. And I'm like, you for real right now? He's like, bro, I'm so serious. Bro, you got it. Oh, man, woo, woo. I'm like, word? Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'll take him, you know. And so, boom, he took me over to, um, yeah. He took me to Mudu's house. You know what I'm saying? Baba Mudu. I can throw it out there. Shout out to Baba Mudu. You know what I'm saying? And when we get there, now this is my man's. He a teacher at my kid's school, and we do trips, and so I know him like in the streets. But I'm here like, wait a minute, like what the fuck? And, yo, the whole spot was set up like for this type of. I'm talking about the pictures was in the paint job. Everything was real psychedelic, right? So I'm like, yo, okay. Boom, they give me 7 grams. All right. They give me 7 grams. And boom, I banged the 7. And it's like, all right, go lay down. And it was a little bit more, but once I got in there and laid down and put the blanket on me, immediately I took off. And mind you, this is my first time, so I don't know what the hell is going on, right? And I went through, I can tell y'all, I couldn't even, my first trip, I couldn't describe what I went through. But I know that when I came out, I did not have PTSD no more.
Mm-hmm.
I was not angry. I was not paranoid. I felt a sense of calmness and peace that I don't ever remember feeling in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My whole life was traumatic and stress. Traumatic stress. So there wasn't no time for post-traumatic stress disorder because there was never post-stress. It was just, it was, what do they call it? Compiled stress. CTSD. But anyway, so overnight, I'm not angry. I feel good. I mean, it just was like, I couldn't understand how it did what it did. So for me, I had used 7 grams and above after that. Like I just kept going in, went to 9 grams, go back to 7 grams a few times, go to 10 grams, go back to 7 grams a few times, and just working my way up, you know what I'm saying, to I think 16, 17 grams, working your way up, right? But then I hear people talk about being told that they can cure or heal PTSD or trauma from sexually violations, traumas from physical abuse, right? Things of this nature. But then they're saying that they've used these modalities sometimes, but they didn't have those effects. But usually when I talk to them people who say that, the amounts that they took, to me, right, let me keep it like that, from my opinion, are not high enough amounts to achieve what they're trying to achieve. And so that's kind of what we're talking about, is how these different dosages of different things will bring about different changes. So I always talk about when a person is going into surgery,
mm-hmm.
they have to be put to sleep. So they're quote unquote unconscious so that others can do the work on them. And then there's, okay, so to me, that's like a 7 gram trip, what people call ego death. That's you being given the anesthetic to put you to sleep. Now the spiritual changes can take place, the healing can take place. Now, if you're in 2 grams, me personally, when I talk about an altered state of consciousness, for me personally, 2 grams is not an altered state of consciousness. 3 grams is not an altered state of consciousness. 4 grams is not an altered state of consciousness. These are altered states of perception. It causes you to perceive things differently, but you're still in the same state of consciousness. You know who you are, you know who your family are, you know who your girl is, even though her face is doing this and you laughing at her, you still know, you're still conscious. There's just a different perception, right? So that's what I say is those amounts are perception altering, but conscious altering is 7 grams and above. It's like when you're getting out of there. It's when the veil is lifted. Your actual consciousness is changing to another realm. And a lot of times that's what you need. Now, let me also say, what we're talking about today is based off of our extensive experiences.
Oh yeah, I'm
gonna let you jump in.
Yeah.
Our experiences, our clients, what we've done, how long we've done what we've done, things of this nature. We are not saying that what we're saying is scientifically this is the amounts that you do for this or use for this, or but with the works that we've done and what we've experienced and things like that. So I just want to be clear, we're coming from our opinion with today's discussion on what what entheogens to use and how much of them for what works. All right, so take the floor because I've been blah 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 blah.
So I love that because
don't worry about it.
It's gonna be my last.
I was about to say apparently they ain't supposed to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right.
So here's the thing. He talks about the mushrooms for PTSD or whatever, and that being, the form that he used it for. So I want to tap into that just a little bit. I
didn't use it for it just happened.
It just happened, right?
Right. I didn't know
it just
what
happened.
I was gonna go through.
That's right. Yeah. That just happened, right? So for my experience, I went to the Psychedelic Healing Shack.
Dr. Bob.
For those of you that are in Detroit, y'all know.
You know what? Fuck it.
Dr. Bob.
Shout out Dr. Bob. You know what I mean?
And
you having to check his ass sometimes, but shout out Dr. Bob.
And I got a chiropractic session done. And as he was giving me my adjustments, you know what I'm saying? We were talking, and he was like, "Yo, like, you be drinking?" And I was like, "No, like I don't even drink. Like I don't even like liquor, And he was like, "Well, your liver says otherwise." He was like, "You're angry?" And I was like, now I'm on the table getting adjusted. Okay. It's not, I can't look this nigga in his face. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't dog check the shit out of him. I'm in a real vulnerable spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, all right, cool, right? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I might have some anger or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know. Like, and he was like, okay, so we finished with the session and we go and he make me a smoothie. He was like, "You ever took mushrooms?" And I was like, "Mushrooms? Have I ever taken mushrooms?" I was like, "No, I've never." I was like, "The mushrooms that I eat in mushrooms, like I eat mushrooms, you know what I'm saying?" He's like, "No, psychedelic mushroom." I was like, "Psychedelic mushrooms? Like, wait a minute, like psychedelic mushrooms, you know what I'm saying? Acid and all of these weird shit, psychedelic, like white people." He was like, "Yes." And I was like, "No, I haven't." He was like, "Well, that'll probably help you with your anger." And I was like, "Oh, all right." He was like, "You want some?" And I was like, "Right now?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, what is it going to make me feel like?" He was like, "It's going to make you feel good." He was like, "You might be a little loopy." He was like, "But you're going to feel great." And I was like, "Okay, well, all right." You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, "I'm going to get my wife," you know what I'm saying? "And I'll see if she'll be able to help and gatekeep, with me." And I was like, okay. Now, I had been hearing about Mama Tashima for a long time. Like, every time I would go in there, they'd be like, "Damn, you look like Mama Tashima." That's like, "Are you and Mama Tashima?" Since I'm like, who the fuck is Mama Tashima? Like, I don't even know who y'all talk about. Like, I just started coming to this place, right? So, she came down or whatever, and he kind of talked to her or whatever, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, you Mama Tashima." And I was like, damn, like, I felt honored because I'm like, she fine as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I look like Mama Tashima. Hello. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Mama Tashima, and so
shout out to Mama Tashima.
Shout out to Mama Tashima, and it was like, she was like, "Yeah, okay."
Herb Shack on 6 Mile.
She was like, she, you know, they was like, well, we live down the street. They took me to their home or whatever, and she was like, I'm just gonna be in the house or whatever. And I like when we were at the shack, I took it. It was just a small amount, a little handful, not a full handful, but just the very palm, you know. And I took it and I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And we was walking down to the house or whatever, and I was like, okay, and I remember going like to the backyard. He was like, "Oh, you can go and look around or whatever." He was like, "This is my cornfield," and he showed me. He was like, "This is my pond. This is where we do the rainwater." And he's showing me all this shit, and I'm like, "Okay," you know what I'm saying? And he's like, "I'll be back," and I was like, "Okay," you know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, "What the fuck did I just get myself into?" Because this man gave me this weird ass shit, and he just left. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Fuck it." So I remember the pond. I was like, "All right." So I went and sat in the pond. And like I sat at the pond and then I put my feet in the water. And I remember like feeling something when that happened. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I remember turning around and looking because I literally heard the trees. Now I'd heard the trees before, but never like this. Okay. And I turned around and I looked, and the motherfucking sky was so bright and the trees were so green and everything was so beautiful. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is this shit here? And then I turned around and I looked, and it was a turtle and a koi fish at my feet. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, hell no, like, y'all are beautiful. I'm like, this koi fish is beautiful. And this turtle, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, I'm wiggling my toes, like, hell no, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And like, they came closer, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, y'all can hear me? I'm like, man, I'm like, if y'all can hear me, then you gonna let me pick you up. And the turtle said, all right. And I put my hand in the water and I fucking grabbed the turtle, y'all. And I picked the turtle up and I looked the turtle in my eyes and I said, hell no. And the turtle was like, I'm like, what the fuck? So I put the turtle down, I'm like, hell no, this is crazy as hell. And then I said, I hear do 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 Mary Jane. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the song just keep on going. And I get up and I walk and I follow the fucking music. And as I'm following the music, I get to a point and there's some fucking weed trees right here. And I look down and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, y'all just. So then here come Dr. Bob. Oh, I see you found my babies. Because this in the midst of his shit. And I'm like, my nigga, they called me over here. And he was like, I bet they did. He was like, how you feeling? And I'm like, I gotta go get my kids. Am I gonna be able to drive? You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah. He's like, you're fine. And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was like, all right, I'll see you later then, you know? And I went.
You ain't shit, Dr. Bob. You ain't
and
shit.
I walked down the street, and it was the longest fucking block that I had ever walked out in my life. And I was like, what the fuck? Did it take this long to get here? And I'm seeing all of these things, and I'm like, this one house was just so beautiful. Imagine it had all these beautiful flowers around it and bushes, and it was just manicured. And I was like, nature is just beautiful. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm emotional now. Now I'm emotional because why is everything so beautiful, and why haven't I recognized it being this beautiful before? And so I get in the car and I go get my kids. And I drive a stick shift, by the way, at this time in my life. So I'm in this motherfucker like, oh shit. Like, what the fuck? Because I'm feeling everything. And I get to my children or whatever, and it was like they knew. They were so excited. They was like, Mom! I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and this is gonna take anger away. And then I started feeling normal again. You know what I'm saying? After a while, I just started feeling normal, and it was just like regular. And I just was like, all right, cool. And then a couple of days later, my brother called me and he said, "Hey, you ever took mushrooms?" And I was like, "Nigga, just the other day I did. Like, what? Like, this is crazy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, what? He was like, how was it? And I was like, man, it was crazy. It was beautiful. I told him this whole story. And he was like, man, he was like, I've been watching this man, his name Baba Kalende, and he said that is this, and he said that is that. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, and he from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he like, let's take some. He was like, he said you got to take 5 grams or more to break through and have these experiences. He was like, you got to do it in the dark and this and that. And he was so excited. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I'm really, really curious because my experience was too magnificent to even be able to fully really describe. You know what I'm saying? I was really in shock, you know. And we went on and we took the mushrooms and we actually got them from Omalewa, from her and Baba Kalende. So it was like, dang, like I was literally out here taking this man's medicine that him and his queen was growing. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was dope. And then we found somebody else that got them. And the first time we did 5 grams in the dark, and our experience was us speaking the light language to each other and channeling and being revealed different abilities and powers that we had. You know what I'm saying? And it was like from there it just expanded. And the thing was, it had opened me up to be able to realize that there's more than this that exists, that is more tangible than we believe. um and once you're able to realize that, then you can recognize that everything is happening all at once, as well as you can correct anything that has happened to you if you're intentional enough and aware enough about it. So you get to be able to see and unveil these different things to recognize whatever the anger was, because from that it did allow me to purge out everything that I was angry about, some things that I didn't even know existed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the mushrooms are, I like to say, multifaceted.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Listen, I was sitting here and I'm like, oh, what's she about to say?
They are multifaceted just like beings.
Boom, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because I was going to kind of walk in on this part.
Yeah.
Where
Baby
both
7.
of us, well, I know I started, and I'm going to let her speak for herself. I started my journey with Etheogens with mushrooms. And then I went through different experiences and added to my resume ayahuasca, the bufo, the LSD, just, you know, walking and experimenting and using different entheogens. And over time, I've realized that one, mushrooms have the ability to do what I would say everything that any other entheogen has the ability to do, but it also can do more. The mushrooms are extraterrestrial, where most of the plant medicine we use is terrestrial. Okay, so the amount of healing that it can do is limited to this earthly realm. You know what I'm saying? These things are terrestrial. That's why some plants heal certain sicknesses. If you get an extraterrestrial plant, a plant from another dimension, is going to be totally different than the plants we have here because they address different things from wherever it's from. So that's what I'm explaining when I'm speaking of terrestrial. So bufo is from a toad that is from the planet Earth. Iboga is from a tree that's from the earth. Ayahuasca is an alchemy from plants that are from the earth. All of these things are terrestrial, where the mushrooms are extraterrestrial. So with that being said, the mushroom can pretty much do what each of these other ones can do, but the mushrooms also come with a higher consciousness, and sometimes they'll take over whatever it is that you're going through.
Oh my goodness. Like, listen. I remember taking a trip one time where they literally worked on me the whole entire time. I literally could not get up out of the bed. I literally lay there and they just worked and worked and worked and worked on my body. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, it felt so good. You know what I'm saying? It was like, just chill, lay back. Lay back. You know what I'm saying? We got it. And I was like, whoa. And I think that you were saying that the mushrooms, because we said that they were multifaceted, and you were saying that they can compare to
right. So I was, but because I was explaining how we utilize these mushrooms first.
Yes.
And so we talked about them right now first.
Yes.
However, now hindsight, we do have different ideas and opinions on which entheogens should be used for what.
Yes.
So for me, I tell people, I would invite you to go in the order of Cambo, ayahuasca, and mushrooms. And then start adding on extracurricular things like the acid. And then, you know what I'm saying? All right. Sure. And then come back to things like the cactus, right? And the mescalines. And so the reason why is Cambo, first of all, is going to cleanse your system. You want to get prepared for what you're about to go through, right? And you got to understand that these things are consumed orally. So this is not only a psychedelic, but it's also a medicine of sorts, right? It's supplying you with certain things within the body. Certain chemical reactions are taking place in the brain. You want to have all of your levels up to a prime place, right? So Cambo, cleansing and detoxing the system, is like the tune-up. Ayahuasca, I find, has been one of the greatest healers. Like that grandma energy, but also that grandma wisdom. You know, oh, go ahead.
I mean, you know, like, that's where you say, like, I think it's debatable, because, you know, we're telling people because ayahuasca is more gentle, you know, that's why you should do that first. You know what I'm saying?
I said do that first, and then I started to speak on the attributes of it. I didn't say because it's more gentle.
But why do that before mushrooms?
Because because sometimes people's psyche is so, you have to know how to submit to mushrooms. Yeah. And a lot of people have a hard time doing that. So when you don't do that, then the mushroom gets involved. And then that's where things get kind of thrown out of hand. Where with ayahuasca, she's very, very in tune with what it actually is fucking with you. And let's go ahead and address that. Let's speak on that. Let's get it understood, so you don't have to, you know what I'm saying, worry about it no more. Let's get you a new heart, or a new set of lungs, or a new vagina, or a new way of thinking.
Oh my
Accept yourself, love yourself. And here you go. Come on back.
A new heart or a new vagina, or what?
So it's real direct with healing. Whereas with the mushrooms, you could, or you could go through some wild shit. Yeah. And that's just, so that's why I say go through that first. So that way,
I got you.
Now we've addressed cleansing, we've addressed the healing that needs to take place. And now I can be comfortable going into the realms of what the mushroom offers.
And see, I think that the mushroom gives you exactly what you need every single time. That's how I feel about it. So whatever it is that comes up during that time, that's what you need. You know what I'm saying? How you decode it and everything like that depends on you and what you compare to the previous trips that you've had. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes it takes, you know, years to integrate and understand a lot of the messages that come through on these trips or whatever. And depending on what that your security clearance is, depending on what you're gonna be able to experience, baby,
you know,
and whatever realm you're gonna be able to go to, you know. And we talk about that. Like, I was talking to some girls the other day or whatever. They was talking about DMT and da 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 da, and I'm like, bro, DMT ain't let me in. I was like, I entered into the DMT realm wrong the first time, and he been like, nah, baby, you on punishment.
DMT is the least favorite of all of the entheogens.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And let me tell you
No...
my theory on this. It is extracted,
Yeah.
right,
Yes.
from a plant teacher.
Yes.
So that's why they call it the spiritual molecule. Think about it. They call it the spiritual molecule because it is the molecule that if you take enough, it opens up the spiritual realm. So it's kind of like opening up the college during summer, unlocking all the doors and letting you walk through. That's it. That's all you did. You walk through where the learning takes place at. There was no teachers there. No lessons was taught. They just let you look at everything in there that they use when they do have class. That's how I feel about, and it's because it's extracted. There is no plant medicine in it. It's chemically I've done it. Trust me. I know. Like it's extracted
literally
from plant teachers. So there is no teachers there. There's only the spirit. That's why people always come back and say, I seen this and I seen that. It's like, yeah, you went into a place of learning. There were no teachers there though. So that's why I like Changa. Changa is one of my favorite. Now, I'm going to say if you have anxiety, depression, Changa might be for you. Because we're talking about, what entheogens to use for what things, right? And we're going to go a little bit deeper in a minute. But, since we going through it, right?
Yeah,
that DMT, it just gives you the understanding that there are grand things in the scheme of the dimensional realms that you're not aware of. It just kind of makes you aware of it. Like, oh shit, it's a lot of shit out there. Like, right? Changa, it brings the teachers back. Now, originally Changa was smokable ayahuasca. Okay? That's what it was created to be. Okay? When I've taken people on ayahuasca trips, when they come back out, sometimes I will give them a joint of Changa because now they can go right back in and the MAOI is active, so it's going to last longer. Okay, so Changa was meant to be. So Changa is DMT that has its herbs infused with DMT. Now, the original herbs that was used was the Banisterius capi vine and the charcruna leaf, which are the ingredients in ayahuasca. And you would just put it's a little alchemical process. So you do an alchemy to infuse those herbs with the DMT, and then you smoke those herbs in a pipe or in a joint or however a bong, whatever. And when you inhale it and you blow it out, instantly, boom, you jump into the realms. Oh my goodness!
It is so amazing.
It is a beautiful experience.
Damn.
And it's the only experience with entheogens that I know of that I've ever experienced where you can be in the interdimensional. I just smoked this. Boom. I'm out here. I'm doing works, invocations, just looking, whatever it be. You can open your eyes, look at somebody and be like, yo, you're conscious as fuck, and say, this is the dopest shit ever. And then close your eyes back and go back. Yo,
listen,
that shit is crazy.
The thing about that is it really makes you aware that time doesn't exist. Because in this reality, it is a span of 10, 15 minutes, if that.
Right.
And there, it be feeling like you're there for like hours. You be getting shit done in that small space of time. And then you come back and it'd be like, what the fuck? I remember that time I took it. And I remember when they was dropping me back down into my body. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is some bullshit. Like, y'all be on some bullshit. They be on some bullshit, y'all. They just be playing with us, man. Dangling our little cells and just...
I'm going to say anybody with anxiety or depression, I
Yeah.
think that would be something good for them to work with at night.
I feel like that probably is a heart opener as well. Because it feels so good. You know what I'm saying? Like Changa feels so good. And I'm not talking about like in a sensual way.
Right.
You know, I'm talking
in
about
a cellular
yeah,
way.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Like and, your soul just be like, that bitch be skateboarding. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I like it because it's something that people can become sovereign in their healing with. Like you have control over this. This is not something that you need to. Yeah, like if somebody was just to bust in the door and be like, "Quick, I need you," you'll just get up and like it'll go away. Like it's not like how mushrooms be like, "Yo, you took them 7 grams. Better not nothing go bad in the next 4 to 6 hours." Like, yo, straight up. Like I need everything to be calm. No kids to wake up. You know what I'm saying? All that with this, and also for those of y'all who are magicians, magic mushrooms do take you directly to where you need to go if you know how to operate within them, right? But how long does it really take for you to lay down your invocations, to lay down your spells and your prayers? Now you done finished in 30 minutes and you tripping balls for the next 7 hours. Yo, Changa is what you want to utilize. So like if you want to lay down an invocation, a spell, go into different
Seven. What's the invocation?
Yeah.
Hey, 7.
Yeah.
I'm going and writing down my what and where.
Yeah. Put your petition on the altar.
Hey, 7.
Yeah.
You doing work where?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, 7, what you talk about?
Shit, nothing. So yeah, Changa is an awesome tool. It's what I refer to sometimes as a minor entheogen, but only because of the ability for you to operate within this realm, like cannabis. You know what I'm saying? You can smoke cannabis now. If you've never smoked weed before and you smoke some weed, then you probably will have a hard time being able to operate. But once you get you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if my what I call minor entheogens and major entheogens, I'm gonna have to revisit that, because why do I call Changa a minor entheogen?
Because of its ability to be able to maneuver through realms and consciousness.
Okay. But yes, the DMT includes the teachers. Now, what has happened over time is that different workers within these realms that are familiar with different herbs and different plants started to change the ingredients in the Changa. So now you got Changa made with passion flower and blue lotus and mugwort and jasmine. Like it's some awesome Changa mixes. So now people are creating their own little community colleges, right? Right? Like and when you utilize those, the teachers that come forward is a compilation of the energies that they thrive with. That just kind of like how all the different rapes with all the different tribes.
Yes. You know? Oh my goodness, so many different rapes. Oh my goodness, it's one rape, y'all. I don't know why these don't be considered. I guess because they psychoactive. What? And rape and shit.
Not
I don't
considered
know,
what?
like entheogenic.
Some of them are, but they would be more plant teachers.
Oh, like, I mean, I would agree with that.
Psychoactive.
That's why I said. That's why I said maybe because they only psychoactive. I know.
But there are some of them that if you use MAOI before using them,
then it'll be psychedelic.
Yes.
So the thing about it is different rapes or hapes, depending on what you desire to call them, have different abilities. It's like anything that you use in nature. Because nature is so motherfucking specifically gorgeous and plentiful, you know. And it has the ability to clear your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like to literally wipe your shit clean through your whole body in seconds. Cause that shit look like it just get blunt and like I think that maybe should be introduction into things for people.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
When you
Most
when you're
definitely.
getting Campbell, you need to get rape.
Mm-hmm.
So once you cleanse your body in order to bring you back to what we call that homeostasis, bring you back to that oneness after that Campbell, you hit that rape.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go back into another realm, and it clears your sinuses and just I'm just thinking about the lymphatic drainage that happens when your sinuses are completely cleared. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, and you can serve it to yourself. You know what I'm
Self-applicating.
saying? You can serve it to yourself to make sure that you are clearing yourself. I know a lot of people that use it daily um to balance themselves out if they get in, because that's good for anxiety as
Yeah, that's
well.
another one that's good for anxiety,
Mood enhancing,
depression,
yeah.
anger
So
issues, any of that.
it's good for assisting people to get off of cocaine
Cocaine, yeah,
and
yeah,
tobacco,
yeah.
because it's a tobacco snuff.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, it has a lot of benefits to actually doing it. A lot everything that we talk about that nature provides to us is good for us for something.
Now, what's important? Side note with the rape and hape, like Cole pointed out the other day, it's important to sit with hape.
Yes.
And I don't mean that in the physical sense, like on your ass. I mean, when you use it, you're sitting with it, not using it.
And
You're
I'm gonna
sitting
give
with it.
an example of using it. Using it would be like you hit the rape or whatever, and then you just blowing it out and you going about your business and into whatever you into. Sitting with it,
Using it like a cigarette break.
right. Sitting with it is allowing the medicine to absorb into your body for a minute.
And becoming conscious of the alchemical change that's going on within you.
What is it correcting with inside of you? You know what I'm saying? What was it that you were feeling? It's helping you to connect with those feelings so that you can observe them. You know what I'm saying? Not to avoid them, to observe them,
and
so that you can process them.
And then when it's time, let them out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole process to it. So you want to keep as much as that as possible, and sit with it, as opposed to just becoming a user of it. Because again, then you're just replacing one habit with another, and you don't want these things to be habits. Yes. You want these things to be teachers, medicines, motivators, inspiration, spirits, things of this nature. You know. So yes, hape and rape is definitely some good ones. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's step a little deeper into it then.
Okay.
All right, so we didn't deal with PTSD, depression, anger issues, anxiety, and not to say those things is lightweight if anybody's going through those things.
They are not.
They not.
They are not.
Now going deeper into, I would say, shadow work.
Ooh.
Shadow work.
Woo, 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 woo.
Right? If somebody's trying to dive in some deep shadow work, what was your...
I'm going...
There you go. Take it.
I'm going straight to the mushrooms. And I'm going low dose. You know what I'm saying? I'm going 1 to 3 grams. Really, really depending on the level of consciousness of the person, what I feel like their receptivity will determine if it's a 1 gram or a 3 gram. And because I'm looking for that, because like we say, sometimes people don't know how to surrender to the moment. And sometimes we need a little bit more to encourage them to break those barriers down a little bit. So when you take these small dosages, it allows you to explore your consciousness with intent and find those hidden things that are locked away within inside you that need to be addressed so that you can fully express them, so you can fully feel them. A lot of people think that when they go into their shadows that they're not supposed to feel the feelings. No, that's exactly why the fuck you going in there. So that you can feel those feelings, so that you can explore that realm, so that you can experience that again, so that you can understand when your body is warning you of those things now, so that you can properly address if anything is to happen to you in that manner, and you know how to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Because our body and our nervous system is regulated to either overactive or underactive, depending on what your experience of. You had a lot of sexual abuse, if you were beaten, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be overactive if you didn't receive a lot of hugs, attention, love, and compassion. It can be underactive, you know what I'm saying? Neither of these things being good, all of them being out of balance, So when you start working on your shadow work, then you get a better understanding of your nervous system and why it is responding in the way that it is responding, and why you are responding to life in the way that you are responding to life. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is connected to each other. Everything is bringing you to a state where you can have understanding, so you can progress forward. You know what I'm saying? And those mushrooms give you the ability to get up out your ego for a minute, to not worry about the constructs that have been placed upon you, and really just tap into yourself. You know what I'm saying? And what your desires are, what your needs are, and what makes you avoid those things. It gets really, really deep, So I invite you to use that for sure, with that 1 to 3 gram round for that shadow work. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I've had a couple of people say that they like to use um acid for that. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say what everybody's experience is, but I don't believe personally that acid nope, I can't say that.
And see, now there we
I
go
can't say
back
that.
again
Yeah,
to
I can't say
where
that.
it's like, okay, it might be
Yep.
able to, but I don't think. Like you can screw in a screw with a butter knife.
Yes. But that
But
don't
that
mean it's
don't mean
made for
that's a
that.
screwdriver.
Exactly.
You know
And
what I'm
and that's
saying?
exactly how I feel
You
about
know
that,
what I
because
mean?
it's like,
You might achieve it, but that's not what I would go to for that.
no, not at
You know
all.
what I
You
mean?
wanna when you
Right.
go
I'm
into
with you. I knew
acid,
exactly where your mind went. You ain't want to say the
you
wrong
want to
thing.
have a great time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Acid is more, let's open up my heart, let's open up my body, let's get connected to my
I
sensuality.
feel like
my
acid is what you do after you fix all the problems.
Yes.
Because now you can dance and you can sing and you can paint stuff and you can move around and you can feel free and confident and not have all of those things that was weighing you down and that was fucking with your light body. So acid is like
Yes.
after. That's why I said Cambo, ayahuasca, mushrooms, and then get into, because
All of the
yeah,
funds.
because you should have already addressed a lot of these different things. So yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. How to use the mushrooms for shadow work.
I
How to
would
use
probably
lower gram dosages.
I would probably also use MDMA for
I
shadow
was just
work.
that's what I, well that was hold on.
Oh.
So I gave you the floor.
Oh,
Look.
it's your turn. It's
Yeah,
your turn.
I was just saying. You know what I'm saying? I was saying like I agree with you, but I
Yeah.
like to also add
Okay,
on.
yes.
And so
I gotta get out your head.
yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I already knew like she gonna think of stuff like boom boom. I would say that the MDMA is what you would use in the intake process of going, and I mean that within yourself. like you're doing the intake on yourself. So you know you're getting ready to do some shadow work with the mushrooms.
Yep.
But first, let me use this MDMA so I can discuss these things out loud.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, start speaking. When we say that the mushrooms and doing the shadow work and addressing why we do the things that we do, the MDMA is going to help them discover it by looking at those things. I'm always arguing, I'm always fighting, or I'm very promiscuous, or I always find myself in whatever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the MDMA is going to help that to come out onto whether it's recording or paper, however people are going about recording their process as they're moving through it.
Right.
Because I would advise you all too, if you're doing shadow work, this is a very integral work that you know what I'm saying, you probably want to keep track of if you're doing it in a constructed way. Now, if you're doing it naturally and spiritually, then just go for it. But so yeah, I definitely would use that in the discovery part of it. You know.
Yeah, I think that MDMA being the heart opener that it is, it allows you to have some compassion for yourself, to explore those inner dark parts of yourself, you know, and understanding that it's cool, you know, and give yourself grace. So I think that MDMA will be really good for that. Yes, really, really good for that.
Maybe accepting. I wouldn't say exploring those darker parts. I would say accepting.
Accepting. Very much so. Yes.
Yeah, because exploring, like if these darker parts are something that's not needed within society and it's a problem, then you don't want to explore it. Just kind of accept it within yourself.
Yes.
So that you can let that be known that this is something that I am. This is what I do, and I need to change that. So remember, this is the discovery part. So you're admitting who you are, what you are, and where you need to change, so that when you go into using those low gram, as she's pointed out, low gram dosages, you can do that. Now, the shadow work, okay, is cleaning up your closet and fortifying your new boundaries, right? Then you got mirror magic. Yeah, see, this is what comes.
We not sure what to do to use some mirror magic.
I mean, ain't that what today's discussion is about? Entheogens and the dosages for different works, right? Right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, just
body scan.
Just speaking out it a little bit.
All right, cool.
You know, because if you've done shadow work and you've addressed the things within you, and you've went through these growth and development experiences, spiritual experiences, all of these things to address everything within you that needed to be taken care of to this point, because this is a form of character growth and development. That's why I say everybody's not on a healing journey. You might not be on a healing journey right now. You on a character growth and development journey. You're looking at who you are on this planet, this time you've been here, how you operate, and is this actually functional for what I want to be? This is all it is, discovery of self. The shadow work is like, okay, now that I've discovered self, I've made a decision.
Okay.
And no, I don't want to be what I was, but I do want to be what I am.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to be what I was, but I do want to be what I am.
Okay.
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 And so with that being said,
this feel like church to y'all.
Hey, can I get an amen out there?
Hello. Hello.
I will say it again now.
Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Who I was.
Okay. I don't want to be who I was.
Who I am.
I want to be who I am.
Okay. All right. And that's where the mirror magic come in. This is where you get to self-programming.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there.
Okay, talk to them.
When you are in the mirror doing your works, be mindful and be careful. Because you may not see what is real. Okay? So be careful and be mindful. Because sometimes your mind will play tricks on you.
Okay, that safety disclaimer. All right. So with that being said, then if she gonna do it like that, I would say this: I wouldn't advise y'all to just be out here jumping in front of the mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Popping down 5 grams and being like, "You're a millionaire. You're a millionaire. You're a millionaire." Right? Okay. So.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You just out here talking about stuff.
If I tell people,
man, you don't know what these people doing.
If I listen, this is just a discussion. I am not eliciting the use of any substances. None of that.
This is our own personal experience.
You know what I'm saying? I started off with that, like telling people, like, so this is my thing. I'm speaking to the magicians.
All right, cool.
If you're not a magician, understand the word magic was used in there, so maybe. Okay, so I need to explain that. Okay, all right. Dang it.
You see what I'm saying?
All right, I see.
You feel me? You see what happened?
I do. I see what.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So back to Etheogens, and but like, to be real, like on some real ass shit, y'all. For real, that is something that needs to be touched on. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the works and what that looks like. But we're just not gonna do it right now.
Okay. But I was just saying that is a way to use Etheogens.
Yes, it is.
To deal with certain works. Like this is magical works. That's all, right?
Yes.
If I said, you know what I'm saying, to use a certain blade to do heart surgery as compared to a different blade for liver surgery, I'm not telling nobody to go.
They're going to go get a dog. You better know it. You better know they're going to go try to find a pig.
Oh, that's horrible.
You better know it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So, all right. So what else? What else we dealing with?
So, okay. So we dealt with, some shadow work. Let's since you want to be talking about magic, let's talk about what entheogens are good for sex. Let's get right to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's hop right on.
Okay.
In.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because people out here like to have sex. Y'all like to have sex? Y'all like to have sex? You like to have sex?
Yes. Well, like is an understatement.
Like is do you love to have sex?
Oh man, keep my business out the streets. Anyway, hold on.
Okay. So now they can't be in that person. Ready, you earlier you was ready to spill the whole thing.
I have boundaries.
Good stuff, baby.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
So, anyway, different entheogens for sex. I'm gonna let you go ahead and.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh well. All right. So is ecstasy entheogen? No, I'm talking shit. Kinda. No, my go-to under any circumstances, if it was like anything goes, pick something, let's get it popping. I'm going to LSD. Me personally, I'm going straight to the LS Dizzle. Mm-hmm. The feel good that it provides just within itself is mystical and magical, and then when combined with other people's energies and the ability to tap into other dimensions and share energies, and it's such a magical experience. It definitely gives the ability to love you long time. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's only been 4 hours. Hold on, let's try a different position. I remember one day it's like, yo, why am I still fucking you as we fucking? Like, what the fuck? I said it while we were on tap. I was like, can we find anything else to do other than this? And then we stopped and got some juice and looked at each other and was like, here, get over the couch. Like, what the fuck? God, what the? So yeah, on some.
Wait a minute, that was exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We literally tried to take a fucking break. Like, God damn, get over there. Like, shit.
Can we paint or something? I don't what the fuck.
You can paint these walls.
Oh man. So yeah.
I agree with that. I think that LSD is definitely the top rating because it gives all of the feels. I've heard people say that they enjoy their experiences on mushrooms. Now, for us, it's a little bit different. If we going on mushrooms, we going to
I'm
work.
going to work.
That's just work all day long. Ain't
right.
nothing sexy about a motherfucking mushroom, baby.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Never been able to achieve that.
Nothing sexy about a mushroom, okay?
Never been able to achieve
that.
But
you know,
but we have
own.
right. I have heard quite a few people too say they've had some of the best sex that they've had on mushrooms. And you got to think, everybody don't have a spiritual security clearance.
Exactly.
Right? So when they do take these things, some people are just allowed into the waiting room. And it's like, it's things to do in the waiting room. Mm-hmm. It's entertaining. You're in another dimensional realm. You know what I'm saying? You know, right. So like I be getting it. Like and I'm not saying anybody who's had a nice sexual experience ain't got no spiritual connection.
That does not mean that.
That is definitely not mean that.
Spiritual clearance and spiritual connection is two different things.
Right. But so yeah, I myself, I'm with her. I've never had a experience with mushrooms and a successful sexual experience. Like that's the last thing like to be like no. But other people have. What else? Anything else?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, sex is cool on that.
What about the MD? I was about to say
that's nice. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think that can be used for like MDMA to me is like straight for relationship work.
Yeah, it was real.
If you're doing relationship works, I mean, let's segue from sex into relationships.
Yes.
MDMA. Yeah. That's the like that would be the top one. Any issues with you and whoever you in a relationship with, whether it's mother, son, brothers, sister, your lover, your like relationships.
Because the fucking water, I mean, see, I was about to say the water just flows, but the conversation just flows like water. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, it's just easy and clear.
You feel safe to just give.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just tell the truth. Just say how you feel. Just say where you at. And the other people have the ability to be more empathic with you and understand more. And oh man, it's one of the most beautiful when it comes to that type of work for sure.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
So if you haven't no, you good. If you haven't you know, communication issues within your relationship, you know, love making, because that's the thing. I think it'll put you more into a love making mode than sex.
Yes. That's why I was like, it's like an intimate thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
it's more intimacy.
Cuddle up and slow stroke it type, you know. Yeah. It's definitely passionate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So, what other because we asked what type of works are y'all interested in us, you know what I'm saying, building about? Like so, you know, nobody yet has thrown out there something that they might be dealing with and wanting to know what entheogen or how much. Okay. So, interdimensional travel. Interdimensional travel.
Interdimensional travel.
Right. Now, of course, we're going straight to the mushrooms because everything else is terrestrial.
Yes.
So keep that on your mind when you thinking about, you know what I'm saying, what it is that you're going to decide to use for certain things. So people have said to me that they feel like DMT, and ayahuasca and things like that are interdimensional. My opinion is they're actually ancestral. So it appears to be interdimensional, but it's the last level of going through where you're like the ancestral realms is the last realms before you leave and go into the extraterrestrial.
Okay.
So the ancestral realms, it appears to be a transdimensional change, but it's that border, the ozone layer, if you will, of the earth. So that's why the ancestral realms is the last realms that need focus on terrestrial business. Like how they say, like ancestors are here until certain things are accomplished, healing generational curses, this, that, blase, all of this is terrestrial. And so the ancestral realms, they're here, and this is their last thing that they have to take care of. Something on the earth. I got to set this shit right. Once they do, they leave the ancestral realms and become one with the celestial realms. So this is what's commonly, I think, referred to as heaven. Like I think that's what people are speaking of, and what they're, because it's like, you know, as an ancestor, you're still bonded by terrestrial actions and things that's going, like you should be free of that. But it's still a lot of anger within those people. This is why I tell people who still trapped into racism, you got to understand that if you are a what we call light worker in this community, and you like, I'm not fucking with them damn white people, and you have there is a lot of weight inside of you that's blocking that light body. You know what I'm saying? And until you release that, you will always remain in this realm because you're still trapped in this mindset of anger from the atrocities that we went through, which is, if you think about it, the same thing that people are saying. They have traumatic issues and are operating out of pocket, or not functioning within society because of the things that happened to them in the past in this life. You're just a higher extension of that. So to say, oh, I've worked through these issues, I worked through these problems, and now I'm a light worker, I'm this, I'm a being of whatever, I'm a witch, I'm whatever that you use these powers to do out here. If you are still bonded by hatred for another race, you're still bonded to terrestrial lessons that have to be learned before you can travel on. So you definitely will become an ancestor. I see, that's the thing. I don't have a, I'm gonna be, or catch me on the altar, because hopefully I've accomplished everything and I go past the ancestral realms into the celestial realms.
Hello.
You understand what I'm talking about? If not, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Right. Yes. So with that being said,
it'd be so funny when I hear people talking about, you know, their transition or whatever. But I say it all the time. We internally know our missions. You know what I'm saying? And people be knowing that they coming back to this motherfucker. They be knowing. They be knowing they coming back. And the ones that know that they ain't, know that they ain't. You know? Because you put a blunt on the altar for me, honey, you gonna be waiting.
Hey. That's what doing the works is about, y'all. That's what doing the works is about. Understanding the, you know, that's why they keep showing you the fractal realms when you go into these trips. They're showing you how all things that you are witnessing are within themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think internally as you do externally. So if you're still walking with hatred, you're still walking with violence, you're still walking with blame, putting people in shame spaces, you know, all of these things, then, you know, you're still heavy, and you're going to keep yourself here, because a light body you can't, there's nothing traveling on them, the photons, but the light, you know what I'm saying, creating a like there, you can't, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back carrying on them bags like that. You can keep coming back, right? You gotta let that shit go. You gotta let go of the anger of the people who did you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Your parents for not doing you right. You know what I'm saying? Your motherfucking mate for doing you too much. You know what I'm saying? Your children for not doing you enough. Like, you gotta let all that shit go. You know what I mean? You know, so, and that's where religion comes in at. Like, y'all.
Okay, so then here we go then.
Yeah, I threw it out there.
What is entheogen that you think is good for connecting to the ancestral, celestial, and the extraterrestrial realms? Like what would you recommend for people to use to connect to those higher powers that be?
West African Gabon Viper. Right? Yeah, you gonna do some snakes with them. I know. Followed by Iboga.
Oh, you nasty for that one. Y'all don't know what he said, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he nasty for that one.
With the mushrooms.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you trying to
I'm not advising anybody to do anything. This is not advice. Like we're just speaking about these different things. We're not saying do them, okay?
No,
let me be clear.
No, because Iboga is very, very.
In the West African Gabon Viper helps you to tap into the ancestral realms.
Right.
But also ayahuasca.
Okay.
Yeah. Also ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca reminds me of the drink in Black Panther.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And if you know what you're doing, then the mushrooms. See, the thing about the mushrooms is this is an organic technology. Okay. And so when you utilize certain technology, a lot of times there are adapters. Is that what it is? It's okay. Imagine I'm trying to use this, but it won't go. So I need to connect it to this so that it can connect to that. Adapter, right? Yeah. So these are where you add in certain things to, what it is you're doing. Okay. So with something like that, I would probably add in some type of herb or plant medicine or spice of some sort that would actually help to direct my travels to. And also I would have also wanted to already started trying to communicate in the meditation.
Ashe.
And you know what? Entheogens, dosage for different works. Is meditation entheogens? Well, it is a medicine from the kingdom of man. So yes, right? And so when you meditate and transcend, now you can direct your connection to what it is, like with intentions. Okay. Same thing with astral travel and lucid dreaming. There are ways to use adaptogens, onerogens in the sleep realm, and to visualize yourself in a place as you're laying down while the onerogen is taking hand. So it will connect with the thoughts and open that realm up to the experience.
I was wondering if you was gonna tap on onerogens because we had kind of went down that slippery slope.
I mean, I was wondering if it opens up.
I was wondering,
if it opens up.
There are so many different ways to use onerogens. I like, you can put them under your pillow. You can drink them, smoke them. So many different ways,
There are herbal mixes for lucid dreaming and astral travel works, where it's certain herbs that are put together in a mix and you put it in your pillow. So when you lay down and you've already taken an onerogen within your body, now the smell of these herbs is sending a program to take you into a certain dream realm. So it's like there's a mix for fairyland. There's a mix for deep in the forest. There's a mix to take you into the nightmare realm. You want to give yourself nightmares on purpose?
No, thank you.
I mean, but somebody asked me, why would a person want to do that? I said, because they have a problem with fear. Right? They have a problem with fear and they're trying to exercise their courage, which is moving on in the face of fear. So the best way to do that is to put yourself in a controlled, fearful environment where you'll be okay. Just like military training. So keep those things in mind, y'all. All right. So that dream realm work, and those different mixes to take you to different places. Yeah. That's yeah. So that's another thing, y'all. A lot of times when I'm having consultation talks with people and things like this, and we're talking about the possibility of them taking entheogens for whatever works, whatever uses, and to really get an understanding of what they're dealing with. A lot of times I end up saying, you know, you don't actually need an entheogen. Like, you know, how many of you all are aware of ashwagandha? Ashwagandha, it's an herb. Helps with, you know, anxiety, depression, you know, just those emotional challenges that you have throughout the day. Sometimes you just need a certain adaptogen, because that's what adaptogens are. They're plants to help you to operate as you're under normal conditions, even though you're under stressful environment or conditions. It gives you the ability to operate like you are operating, like everything's normal, even though you're stressed out, even though the conditions that are put upon you are weighing on you. These help you to operate like they're not, right? So sometimes you don't need to get out of these realms. A lot of times the work, the depression, the anger is within these realms.
Right, exactly.
Let's see if we can address these things in these realms first.
Sure.
A lot of people who have anger, they don't really need 7 grams of mushrooms. They need some ashwagandha. You know what I'm saying? There are certain mood enhancers and stabilizers that are actually herbs. Drink you some tea.
Okay.
Drink you some
Literally,
tea.
with some catnip
Cinnamon
in it,
and ginger are both anti-anxiety. That's why I put them shits on everything. And when you come to the pad, and I make y'all the pad coffee, you already know I put cinnamon and ginger. But it's also in the coffee. Anti-anxiety. A lot of times, that's why people be talking about how they enjoy my tea and my coffee and these things that I make, because I'm putting things in them that is calming these stresses and these anxieties. And if you come in to see me, then usually you dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Those are side effects from a lot of these other things that we're talking about treating. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sometimes there's some things in your kitchen cabinet that can help you out.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, man. I just thought about that. You said that, and I thought about mustard, and I was like, you know, last night.
Yeah, mustard, turmeric. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
Ginger, of course.
Your life easier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man. So, you know, but you know, these are useful tools. We you know, we can't, you know, deny that. Some people, some cinnamon and ginger ain't gonna help. I know. I know. I'm not saying. I'm just saying though, like, until I can get it, let me use that, right? Until I can go do the works I need to do. You know. So yeah, man, we went through quite a bit of them. We went through changa, cannabis, of course. Another minor entheogen. That's my baby.
Yes.
My favorite.
How could you? That's why I was about to say. How could you not say cannabis?
Yeah, you know, because it's kind of like it's so common that now it don't get named when we're talking about, you know, things, and it's like I know she be sitting back like, really,
right,
really, y'all. But yeah, cannabis as well, and it doesn't have to be smoked, y'all.
What you doing?
You know, I was speaking. Shout out to Austin and Shelly of the Condor, and you know, other things of their own and all of that. But shout out to them. I was talking to them, and somebody had said my first time ever utilizing cannabis was with bath bombs. And I was like, what? Bath bombs? You talking about like soaking in the tub? Like, yeah, like, and you could feel the, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit, well, I never thought about that. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is dope. That is dope. You don't smoke weed, but you bathe in it. In a bath bomb that gives you euphoric, you know what I'm saying, feeling like, yo, that's got to be comfortable as hell going to sleep.
Right.
That is outrageously, like, so simple yet so genius. I'm like, wow. Now just add some mugwort in that tub at the same time and drink you some Blue Lotus tea.
With some mugwort.
Oh my goodness. While smoking on while taking some capsules of the Mexican dream herb.
Oh, yes, take the capsules.
Take the capsules. Take the capsules. Take the capsules, y'all. Trust me when I say this. Capsulate them. Don't
and I don't know if it was because we put that honey in there, but
the honey made it worse.
Yeah, we ain't never went back to
because we made a tea out of it. We was like, okay, we just gonna drink the tea, right? And we drunk that, and oh man, I'm talking about when we sipped, it was like, oh oh, hell no. So I'm like, let me go get some honey to sweeten it up. And it did the opposite. It made it worse.
It was horrible.
Oh, hey, y'all know I drink ayahuasca. So come on, like, I drink certain, no, that one, nah, capsulated. Just capsulated. You know what I'm saying? Capsulate, yeah, I mean, to take you 2-3 grams of that, Joe, and lay in that tub, absorb that. You know, you can smoke you some Blue Lotus and some mugwort with some mullein and what else? What you put in smoke blend?
Rose petals.
And rose petals. See what I'm talking about? Everybody got their own teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I would put rose petals. I would put a little lavender.
Oh, that lavender is good in the smoke blend.
Yes.
I love that lavender.
I would put a little bit of yarrow.
I see you in my yarrow. Yeah, man.
Oh, you gonna make lunch?
Man. Oh, yeah. Yep. Sounds that way. Yeah, man. So we just wanted to tap in. Let me see. We had an hour and 30. You know what I'm saying? We kicked it. Yes. Etheogens, dosages, and for different works. Like is there anything that we missed out on?
I don't think so, because yesterday I was gonna say communication, but I'm like, we did that yesterday, so it doesn't make sense that we need to tell them again that MDMA is great for communication. That,
right.
Like
but
we went LSD is good for communication. You know, well, we don't need to do that again. So I think that we actually covered it all. We went over
PTSD and traumas, going deep.
Yeah.
Shadow work. You know what I'm saying?
We did a little bit of sex. You know what I'm saying? We did
mirror magic.
Mirror magic. We did a little bit of
yeah, we gave the people's, you know, they chance to tell us about things that they might be dealing with and wanting to know.
Yeah.
And it don't look like anybody had what's the difference between them. Between what? I didn't catch that. I wish I would have caught it when it came across. Yeah. Sorry about that. Who was that? Kazakawa. Boy, these names. Wait, that's my man Kai. You two are amazing. Gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of your story. You feel me?
Yes, love.
So yeah, I think we didn't cover quite a bit. You know, of course, the things that we see the most of that when people come to see us at the Psychonaut Academy Detroit and House of Genesis, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. Mm-hmm. Addiction.
Oh, how could we
not? Addiction. Man.
You can use a multitude of things.
You know what's top dog on the list though? I just go straight to Iboga.
Oh, Iboga.
Iboga.
Okay, yes.
Iboga.
Yes, Iboga.
Yeah, because it also resets the dopamine receptors, and you know the receptors that cause people to be addicted to certain things. It resets that so that actual craving and want and desire for isn't even there.
Right.
Yeah, Iboga's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Iboga.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So of course I would definitely go there, but everybody does not have the availability, the option, things like that. I'm not even real quick. Pardon myself, y'all, to supply that. You know what I'm saying? It's under extreme cases, different things like that. So, but what else? Mushrooms, definitely.
Yes, mushrooms.
And again, the thing about mushrooms is they're hit or miss. Some of them, it'll do the trick. You know what I mean? Don't take them through a 7 gram. Yeah. It'll do the trick. Some people, it'll be a temporary, you know, Band-Aid, and they need to go deeper. So I would say that I would start sending them on ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is another one that's real good for helping people dealing with addiction, alcoholism, different things like that. I also would go in there and throw the changa back in there. Yeah, I would definitely throw the changa back in there.
For like addiction.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
If you feel like you're falling off, if you could just get, you know, boom.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hell
okay.
Yeah.
I see that now. Yes.
Yeah, this is like call your sponsor like, yo, I'm on the ledge, I'm finna fuck up, and then grab your changa and blow that bitch. You know, so definitely I would put Chong on the list. And Hape and Rape.
Hape and Rape for sure.
Hape slash Rape, depending on how you all pronounce it, based off how you was introduced. Yeah, that would be another one that I would say is a go-to for dealing with addiction. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking about that that Hape and Rape
and Wachuma.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Right here.
And that's because
you need to put some clothes on.
It causes you to be very introspective, to pay attention to the self and what the self has been doing and expressing and all of those different types of things. So, you know, causing that accountability.
Don't take that. Go over there.
You know, causing that, accountability. And being aware and self-accountable, it helps with that. From what I've been told.
Oh, I know, right?
Is that my microdose?
I don't know. Oh, you microdose?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, then I felt it first because I've been yarning.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm glad we caught that, like, cause we almost addiction.
Addiction for sure.
Yeah. So, but nobody gave anything. So let me think.
Nobody told me how they was feeling.
Well,
that one. A
lot of people they just come here to hear. They just want to, sit and listen. They don't want to be interactive. Everybody don't want to play with you. It's okay. That don't mean they don't like you. They just different people. Some people like to sit down, and some people like to stand up. Okay.
I'm a 3.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me think. Is there anything? Usually, once we go through all the things that we said we was going through, I usually throw a little extra out. Tell a story or drop some hidden magical spells.
I thought that's what you did when you started talking about that mirror magic.
Oh my goodness! No, I was just, we was talking about different dosages for different works. You figured deal with me. So yeah, man. What's the extras? What's the interesting that we're going to drop on afterward? Now that we covered all that we came here to cover. Anything else we're going to leave them with something?
If you are interested in getting any of these products, hit us up.
I ain't mean that. But that's
I know,
cool.
But I was just saying.
Like what they say, cheap shameless plug, right? Hold on. We got a question. What are the best options for people in occupations that require drug testing?
Good
question.
That is a great question.
Yes. So mushrooms, you piss out pretty much the next morning. Dimethyltryptamine stays in your body about 24 hours. If that. So if it's like they gonna test you the next morning, then but also I'm not aware of off of there. Get off the altar. A lot of people testing for dimethyltryptamine now.
Yeah, me either.
Because they say
they test for mushrooms.
Not that I've ever heard.
Hey.
If so, this will be. Oh my goodness.
Hey, we gotta go.
Right. Yeah. Oh no. Let's answer a question first. The best options for people in occupations. So. Changa is good. Mushrooms, if they test for
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
If they do, because you got to think a lot now with the
go upstairs and get you some clothes.
Everybody with the decrim, there's a lot of people becoming aware that people are using mushrooms in a lot larger amount. So I don't know if they're testing for that, but the changa, I would say the mushrooms, you got 24 hours before. We about to get off. We getting off right now. What's going on, Majik? Give me 1 second. We about to get off.
And I would say probably the what about the MDMA too?
I don't know, man. Look. I don't
let
want
us
to
get
really
you in trouble.
This is something that during the consultation we would look through, as opposed to just throwing out there. Because I would hate to tell you something and then you do something and it cause you some issues with your with your occupation. So
yeah,
just give me
and then kind of
hit
see
me personally and we'll talk.
Yeah, and kind of see if you can find out what they're testing for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's pretty
That's
open.
a red flag if you come ask that.
I ain't saying you gotta ask. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like you can literally
right.
Google that's information that's just out in the public. I'm sure, right? You know what I'm saying? Like just Google what are companies usually drug testing for.
Right.
You know.
But get with me and we can go through it.
Yes.
All right. But other than that, thank y'all for tapping in. You know we love y'all. And as always,
tell somebody you love them
in a language they can understand it in. Peace.